I'm talking with Fallie Beers, a musician, longtime resident of Wessington Springs, and a longtime friend of mine. Can you tell me a little bit about your childhood?
I was always a child.
Where were you born?
I was born in Great Falls, Montana,
Mm-hmm.
and we lived in Montana forever.
What part did music play in your growing up?
It was always there.
Always there.
My mother played the piano before I was ever aware of it,
Mm-hmm.
and so then she was starting to give me piano lessons, but there was a man came out from Great Falls to give piano lessons to one of the neighbors, so she prevailed upon him to come and take me on also.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Colorado Women's College in Denver, which was a junior college.
Uh-huh.
And from there I transferred to University of Minnesota and got my degree there.
And your degree was in performance, music performance, or music education?
Education.
Music education.
No, I never had any degree in performance. Never had any claim in performance. And main I would claim I would have about performance would be to my students, well, didn't you practice?
What was the best part of teaching kids how to play the piano?
Well, the best part was the ones that really did play and took it seriously.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And whose parents took it seriously. Because if the mother didn't take it seriously, the child wouldn't either.
Well, tell us something about your children, your two sons, and how, just tell us about them. They have both wonderful lives.
They're both musical in their own way.
Mm-hmm. Your son Tom, I know he has a lovely singing voice. He sang in the high school choir. I know he's a pastor in Texas.
Yeah. The one that completely flabbergasted me was when it turns out my older son Bill is giving piano lessons to his minister's children.
Mm-hmm.
One daughter anyway, and seems to be getting along just fine. Everything. There's certain other program that he wasn't going to be able to do it with me because he had to be back to do that piano lesson.
Oh, so he was pretty devoted. So it sounds like somebody I know, Fallie.
Not only is Bill giving piano lessons, his daughter is beginning to do teaching piano now.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I came to Wessington Springs in '78, you were the pianist at church. Oh, you were the organist.
Yeah, we had an organ
We had a
of
little
sorts.
organ, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how much about the organ, but it was a fairly decent.
When one Sunday your older son Bill came to sing something that you had written. You had written the music for Psalm 1.
Isn't that funny? You told me about that, and I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, and you recited some of the lines to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was I had no idea you could compose music.
I didn't
And you
either.
had you had taken some instruction, I think it was through USD, and this was one of the things that you had done for your class, was to write some music by which Psalm 1 could be sung. And it was lovely, and your son Bill sang it in church for us. You're still playing now.
I can resist it only about so long, and then pretty soon, well, somebody's supposed to come to leave the Sunday afternoon service, and he doesn't show up. So I get busy and I start playing hymns, and people seem to appreciate having me play.
Mm-hmm.
There's music there in the music bench. Amongst other things, there's songs like gospel songs, which wouldn't be my first choice, but it's there and it's what everybody knows and recognizes and appreciates. I end up playing pretty much of the time with my left hand because it's hard to get my right hand up there. I can cross, I can make up my own fingering, so to speak. There are times when a minister will come for the Sunday afternoon service and maybe didn't bring somebody along, or I don't know what. I just jump up and I start to play. I can't imagine not having music being an important part of my life. And I like all kinds of music, and while I'm playing these gospel songs out of this one songbook, actually my real interest is in classical music. But I don't have that music right at hand.
What part did faith play?
My faith, well, it's all tied in with music, isn't it? The faith and the music are all tied together, and you can't separate them. They've helped each other. For all I say that when I play, just for my audience in the dining room, I'm playing gospel songs type of thing. But if I were playing for myself, I'd have to get out and brush up on classical music. And that's where my real interest is. I'll bet I could play some of that even now, if I would play hands together and play some of the classical music. I have a feeling that I have an audience that would appreciate my playing no matter what I played. Because I have people at the dinner table that will make very appreciative remarks about my playing. And that's not who I'm playing for. I should be playing for myself. Both. In fact, when I'm just diddling, waiting to be saved to go to my place at the table, I'll do Jesus Loves Me. Da 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 da. Oh, it was in the key of G. What do you know? To the end of my life, I will have to have music. It is my thing. Now you see, I can play it with my right hand too.
Yeah.